What if I told you that the MVP of the Las Vegas Aces, A'ja Wilson, isn't just their star player, but their biggest problem? Wilson's leaked interview is sending shockwaves through the league, exposing the rot at the core of the championship team that's imploding right before your very eyes. They've lost basically everyone. If we want to look at the Vegas Aces team from last year, who's still remaining? The MVP? Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray. That is it. It wasn't a championship locker room, Wilson said. But here's what's got everyone talking. It's not just what she said, it's what happened next. The mass exodus that followed is rewriting the future of the WNBA. Want to know the entire scoop behind what Wilson said and how one interview reveals how a dynasty crumbled? Picture this. A'ja Wilson, the WNBA's reigning MVP and two-time champion, sitting down for what should be a routine interview with a renowned Las Vegas journalist. But what comes next? It's anything but routine. As the conversation begins, Wilson starts talking, and at first it's all smiles and championship memories. But then something shifts, the air in the room changes, and suddenly Wilson drops a truth bomb that has everyone's jaws on the floor. Who are left with a shell of a roster right now. They have to fill out every other spot. They have a not top 5 roster in the W, and they have to fill out every other spot with minimum contract. It wasn't a championship locker room, Wilson admits, her voice heavy with the weight of her words. I mean, out the gate, going into training camp, I was like, we ain't got it. Can you believe it? The star player of the Las Vegas Aces, the team that seemed unstoppable, just confessed that they were doomed from the start. But that's not all. Wilson doesn't stop there. She goes on to spill about tension, egos, and a team that just couldn't click. It's the kind of locker room drama that would make reality TV blush. And here's where it gets really juicy. Wilson reveals how she knew they weren't a championship locker room before the season even started. She even talked about how she spoke with fellow stars Jackie Young and Chelsea Gray, that the team needs more leadership on and off the floor next season. Talk about calling out your team. Remember Dawn Staley, Wilson's college coach? Well, she taught Wilson a valuable lesson about winning teams. According to Wilson, a championship caliber team should look, sound, and feel a certain way. And guess what? According to their self-proclaimed leader, the Aces failed this test miserably. It's like they were trying to build a house of cards in a hurricane. It was never going to stand. You might be saying, oh, like if you want to win, why would you ever leave the Aces? Because the Aces aren't that good. Simple as that. The amount of the people that are saying, oh, the Aces are like this absolute super team still. Oh, they got Jewel Lloyd. Wow, they got somebody who shoots 26% from 3 and 36% from field. And he's like not struggling and unrivaled. For every good game, she has 2 bad games. Like, it's as simple as that. For every good Jewel Lloyd game, she has 2 bad games at this stage in her career. As the interview continues, Wilson's frustration becomes palpable. She talks about trying to fix things game after game, but nothing worked. I always told myself every game, we're going to get there. We're going to check each box. But we didn't, she confesses. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion. And speaking of car crashes, let's talk about that semifinals loss to the New York Liberty. Wilson reflects on the team's performance, saying, you're constantly just in the moment and thinking about how to get better and what can you do more to provide for your team. The reality, it seems like all that thinking didn't translate into action. The Aces' key players combined for a measly 28 points in that crucial game. Talk about dropping the ball when it matters most. But wait, there's more. Wilson, in her infinite wisdom, shares her thoughts on addressing issues in the locker room. It's going to get nipped in the bud when we feel it, she says. Oh, really, A'ja? Because from where we're sitting, it looks like those issues grew into a full-blown forest while you were busy feeling them. We have to get better. We have to really take a sharp look at ourselves, look ourselves in the mirror, see our shortcomings, and then, you got to make the moves necessary, whatever that means, to put the best product that we possibly can. It's not going to be the same group probably next year. It just won't. And I'm sad about that, because I really like Deck Rubin. They're a pain in my ass, but I was a pain in their ass too. As the interview winds down, Wilson tries to soften the blow of her brutal honesty. I love my teammates so much, she says, her voice filled with emotion. But let's be real. After everything she's just revealed, those words ring about as hollow as the Aces trophy case is about to be. The interview ends, but the damage is done. Wilson's words hang in the air, a confession that explains everything that came after. The exodus of players, the collapse of a dynasty, the fall of the mighty Aces. It all traces back to this moment, to these revelations that paint a picture of the Aces locker room this entire past season. Wilson's words didn't just hang in the air, they sparked a mass exodus. Remember when the Aces were the dream team everyone wanted to join? When veterans would take minimum contracts just to win a ring with Las Vegas? Well, that dream has turned into a nightmare, and now players can't wait to wake up and get out. The Aces roster, once the envy of the league, is crumbling faster than a sandcastle being washed by the wave. One by one, key players are packing their bags and heading for the exits. But why? Is it just coincidence, or is there more to this story? Let's break it down. It all started with Kate Martin, a fan favorite and promising young player. The Aces left her unprotected in the expansion draft, and faster than you can say jackpot, the Golden State Valkyries snatched her up. It was a significant loss for the Aces, and fans were left scratching their heads, but that was just the beginning. Next up, Kelsey Plum, the sharpshooter who lit up the scoreboard last season with an impressive 16 points per game. She traded in her Aces jersey for Sparks purple and gold in a deal that had fans questioning the Aces' decision-making. They got Jewel Lloyd in return, but let's be real. Lloyd is older and less efficient. It's like trading in a sports car for a minivan. Then there's Tiffany Hayes, the 6th player of the year. You'd think winning an award like that would make you want to stick around, right? Wrong. Hayes decided the upstart Valkyries looked better than another season in Vegas. Last season she averaged 9.5 points, 2.8 rebounds, and 2.1 assists per game. Those are numbers the Aces are going to miss and will surely go up in San Francisco. But wait, there's more. Alicia Clark, a crucial player for the Aces, decided to return to the Seattle Storm, where she previously won 2 championships. It's like she looked at the Aces and thought, nah, I'd rather go back to my old team. Let's start with Alicia Clark. According to Ramona Shelburne of ESPN, the Aces wanted to bring back Alicia Clark. But when Seattle came a-knocking, Alicia was like, you know what, I would love to go back to my WNBA home, which is Seattle. Now, guys, if y'all don't know, Alicia Clark won 2 titles with the Seattle Storm in 2018 and 2020, and now at 37 years old, she is looking to bring her 3-and-D game back to Seattle. And let's not forget Sydney Colson, known as Wilson's best friend. You'd think that friendship would keep her around, right? Nope. Colson packed her bags and joined the Indiana Fever, further depleting the Aces roster. Talk about a friend breakup. Now, yesterday, Indiana Fever let me know that Sid pretty much is officially signed, man. She officially signed. She spoke with reporters, letting everybody know why she has decided to join the Indiana Fever. Here's the truth. These aren't just any players leaving. We're talking about nearly half of the Aces' scoring output walking out the door. It's like watching a magic trick, but instead of pulling rabbits out of a hat, the Aces are making their star players disappear. As each player leaves, you can almost hear Wilson's words from that interview echoing in the background. When asked about Kelsey Plum's departure, Wilson said, "In the locker room, she was always someone that spoke her mind. You need that honesty in the locker room. We're definitely going to miss her." Looking back, it's starting to sound more like a eulogy for the entire team. What is going on in their locker room? Like, this Aces team is falling apart. This is not a coach that I would want to play for. Coincidence? I think not. It's like Wilson's interview was a roadmap for the Great Escape. She talked about how the Aces weren't a championship locker room going into training camp. Well, now they're barely a locker room at all. The exodus leaves the Aces looking less like a super team and more like a shell of their former selves. It's like watching a Vegas magic show in reverse. Instead of making things appear, everything's disappearing. So, what's next for the Aces? Will they be able to rebuild, or is this the beginning of the end? One thing's for sure. Wilson's words have turned out to be prophetic, but not in the way she probably intended. Just when you thought the WNBA couldn't get any more dramatic, enter the Indiana Fever. While the Aces are losing their aces, this Midwestern team is stacking their deck. But here's the million-dollar question. Can you build a championship team in just one off-season? There's something about the way she plays the game, her passing, her shooting, that people really identify with. I really feel like we're poised and we're set up for a great, successful next era of Fever basketball. Picture this. The Indiana Fever, once the league's punching bag, suddenly throwing some punches of their own. It's like watching a phoenix rise from the ashes, and let me tell you, it's a sight to behold. First up, they bring back Kelly Krauskopf as team president. This woman isn't just building a team, she's crafting a legacy. Krauskopf knows how to spot talent, nurture it, and turn it into gold. She's the architect behind the Fever's 2012 championship run, and now she's back to do it again. Talk about a homecoming. But wait, there's more. The Fever didn't stop there. They snagged Amber Cox as GM, and let me tell you, this move is pure genius. Cox is a WNBA insider with a keen eye for talent, and looking back, hiring her was a masterstroke. She used to be the GM of the Phoenix Mercury and the Dallas Wings, and used to be the boss of some of the new Fever hires. The future is so bright, and our ultimate goal is to hang another banner in the field house. And our ultimate goal is to come back in here after we win that championship and celebrate again like we did in 2012. Now, hold on to your seats, because the Fever's next move is a real game changer. They convinced Stephanie White to come back as head coach. It's like getting the band back together, but this time they've all had years to perfect their solos. White knows this team, she knows this city, and she knows how to win, having been part of the only championship team in Fever history as assistant coach and led the team back again to the finals as head coach. It's a match made in basketball heaven. But the Fever weren't done yet. Oh no, they were just getting started. They went on a free agency shopping spree that would make even the most extravagant shopaholic blush. Natasha Howard? Check. Dewana Bonner? You bet. Sophie Cunningham? Absolutely. Sydney Colson? Why not? It's like they're collecting all-stars like kids collect trading cards. Are you in a position where you can add some pieces? Yes, we are. We're definitely in a position, and I would think that if you are a smart basketball player and you watch the way she plays, you would want to play with her. And let's not forget about their homegrown star, Kelsey Mitchell. While other teams are watching their players jump ship faster than the Titanic, the Fever managed to keep their homegrown star right where she belongs. That's how you build loyalty, folks. Mitchell isn't just staying, she's thriving. Last season, she averaged a career-high 19.2 points per game with career-high efficiency. Now, with Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hull, and this new team, the sky's the limit. But here's where it gets really interesting. The Fever aren't just adding talent, they're building a culture. A positive, supportive environment where players can grow, learn, and push each other to be their best. It's the exact opposite of what we're seeing with the Aces. No drama, no ego trips, just good old-fashioned teamwork and determination. Remember when Caitlin Clark organized a welcome event for Kelsey Mitchell when she signed her contract? And let's talk about that determination for a second. The Fever are hungry, they've tasted the bottom of the league, and they're ready for a gourmet meal at the top. These players have chips on their shoulders and fire in their eyes. They're not just here to compete, they're here to dominate. But can they really go from worst to first? Can a team that was the laughingstock of the WNBA really become a contender overnight? Well, if anyone can do it, it's this Fever squad. They've got the leadership, the talent, and the drive. All they need now is a chance to prove themselves on the court, and let's not forget about the fans. The people of Indiana have been waiting for this moment. They've stuck by their team through thick and thin, and now they're ready to see their loyalty pay off. The energy in Gainbridge Fieldhouse is going to be electric this season. You can almost feel the anticipation building. So, while the Aces are dealing with their internal drama and watching their dynasty crumble, the Fever are showing everyone how it's done. They're proving that with smart management, a positive team culture, and a little bit of Hoosier magic, you can turn a franchise around faster than you can say basketball. As the dust settles on the Aces' imploding dynasty, A'ja Wilson's leaked interview stands as a stark reminder. Even the mightiest can fall. But in the WNBA, where one star fades, another rises. And right now, all eyes are turning to Indiana. Picture this. Caitlin Clark, the golden girl of the WNBA, stepping onto the court once again. The energy in Gainbridge Fieldhouse is electric. The fans who've stuck by their team through thick and thin are buzzing with anticipation. This isn't just a new season, it's a whole new era. But here's where it gets really interesting. While Vegas crumbles under the weight of its own ego, Indiana is building something special. It's not just about star power, it's about heart, hustle, and hunger. Are you ready to see what happens when a team rises from the ashes, fueled by the fire of redemption? Because that's exactly what we're about to witness in Indiana. Are you excited? Let us know in the comments.